I'm going to read. It is your turn, yes. Okay. I'm going to read from the top of the book, and I'll try to explain where we are as I'll read a few sections. So this is the opening. We're in 2006, New York, 2006. Hi, Maddie. How are you? It's snowing up here. Can you believe it? Jesus, I hope it doesn't stick. How's the weather where you are? Oh, I'm glad you called. Listen, I got something to tell you. Remember Mr. Farrell from down the hill? Bought that Civil War saber from me. Remember? You there? Yeah, Maddie said. Well, why don't you say something? Because you don't... Listen, he died. This was typical. As her mother aged, she barely let Maddie part her lips, and she was obsessed with the obits. She read them daily, compulsively. Even casual acquaintances knew that if you bumped into Velma at the Stop and Shop, you were in for an updated litany of the dearly departed locals. Maddie was wearing pajamas in the middle of the day. She was curled up like a fist on the floor beside her upright piano. She couldn't say she was moved by Farrell's passing. The man had never been nice to her. His kids hurled rocks and racial epithets when they were growing up. She hadn't seen him since the mid-'80s, 20 years ago, and he looked old then. Nonetheless, she exhaled and said, "That's too bad, Mom." "Yeah, so sad. All my contemporaries are either going, or gone." Velma chuckled at the auction quip that made regular appearances in her "you'll never guess who died" routines. "Rolando's moving back to L.A., Maddie told her. "He doesn't want to be married anymore." "Oh," Velma said. "Sorry to hear that." Then her voice brightened to a higher key. "Well, so you'll be single, so what? I've been single for over 25 years now, and I love it. I'm glad I don't have to deal with your father's bullshit anymore. You seen him lately? Jesus, he looks old. Like an antique, a relic, like I could sell his ass in my shop." No matter the content of the conversation, if her mother was participating, its focus would be on her. Velma went on complaining as Maddie set the phone down and climbed off the floor. She shuffled in her fleece and corduroy slippers hunched against the cramping in her abdomen. With the bathroom door open, she peed with the light off and stared out the doorway so she wouldn't have to see her lady parts cry blood. Across the room, boxes were stacked like giant bricks, making a wall along the windows. A stroller, a breast pump, an infant tub. She closed her eyes and blindly replaced the pad with a fresh one. When she made it back to the phone, Velma was still monologuing. "And you know, he was so damn cheap, honestly. When I wasn't working after I had you, he'd give me a few dollars spending money, and then he'd make me go buy him cigarettes and scotch with it. What an SOB. Finally, she asked, "So what happened anyway? Why doesn't Ro want to be married anymore? Another woman?" He said, "You know, just because you make more money doesn't mean you should always be the boss. Rolando told me you control everything, and you do. You get that from your father." Ouch. Why did she always hope her mother would be different? She wanted to say, "Fuck you." Instead, she bit her tongue. She bit the crap out of it. She'd need stitches if she bit it any harder. "You there?" Velma asked. "I'm hanging up now." "Oh, you don't want to talk, huh? Well, all right then. You'll be fine." For a moment, Maddie imagined her mother sounding caring, the way one might encourage a toddler to come down a slide. "It's okay. You'll be fine." "Really?" she sniffled. "How do you know, Mommy?" "Because what choice do you have, Maddie? Life goes on. Until it doesn't, and you read about it in the